Is your beard growing longer on one side than the other? Here's what you can do about it. Hello and welcome to Beard Growing Pro. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, push the bell notification. Now, let's get on with the content. Now, if your beard is growing longer on one side than the other, then it all comes down to your beard growing rate, and that there's a mismatch for some reason. The first reason could just be genetics. So people have kind of a hair growth rate, and unfortunately that is not the same over the entire face, head, body, or wherever you grow hair. Essentially, hair requires nutrients to grow, and if your body is prioritizing one area of the face over the other for whatever reason, mainly down to genetics, I think, as far as my studies have shown, there's really not much you can do to influence the genes. But what you can do is encourage growth in certain aspects of your face and beard, and that's what we'll talk about in a moment. Another thing that I want you to check is your grooming. So if you're a little bit further on in your beard growing journey, you may be over grooming one area of your face. Now, we are creatures of habit. I'm right-handed, and I can assure you that this side of my face gets a lot more attention than this side of my face. So the hairs here are touched more often. They are groomed more often with brushes. When I use the blow dryer, they're probably actually on this side, because I hold the blow dryer in this hand, so my left side of my face probably gets more heat. So the reason I'm telling you this is because your grooming routine is not even across your entire face, no matter what you think. So you may be damaging the hairs, causing early breakage on a kind of certain area of your beard. So that's one reason why you may be experiencing longer what you perceive as growth, but it's actually you damaging hairs on one part of your face. And the last thing that you should kind of be cautious of or wary of is that touching your beard a lot will also damage the hair, cause it to weaken, and then cause it to fall out, which potentially will cause it to look like it's not growing fast enough on that side of your face, when in reality it's you breaking the hairs. I am terrible for this. I spend a lot of time touching, teasing, feeling my beard, and once again, because I'm right-handed, I'm sure this side of my face gets a lot more attention than this side. I also find myself kind of playing with the underside a lot, pulling out hairs, twisting. All of that is going to damage the hair on your face. So if you find you're doing that, there's not much you can do other than stop it. Okay, so now let's talk about the things you can do proactively to even up any uneven beard growth. The first thing that I recommend is just riding it out. If you're noticing significant differences from one side of the face to the other, just relax. Just let it ride out for as long as you can. About 3 months is awesome. So a lot of people notice this kind of difference in beard growth very early on in their beard growing journey. And that's because your hair is incredibly short. You're waiting for things to fill in. Maybe there's some problem areas with growth. And so you really kind of a high anxiety about the evenness and the evenness, spread, and length of your beard. But the one thing I would say is please don't rush into anything. Just relax, let it grow out. Give yourself about 3 months before you decide that one side is growing significantly more than the other. After about 3 months, pushing through the urge to trim and do anything will tell you whether or not you really do have a problem, or you thought you had a problem and you were just judging your beard far too early. Now, the one thing about beards is you can take things away by cutting and trimming, but you cannot add stuff on unless there's like beard attachments that I don't know about. Now, the reason I'm telling you that is because if one side is growing longer than the other, then you have to make sure that the short side has grown to a length that you want it before you chop in anything, because otherwise you'll always be playing this game of catch up where you chop the long side, but in fact you want it to grow out. And yeah, just having a bit of patience, waiting for the shorter side to grow out before you chop in the longer side to match its length is your best tactic. You can take stuff away. It's like hedge trimming, right? The one thing I learned about growing a beard and trimming it up is that it really is like growing a hedge. You gotta let it grow and then cut it into shape. So maybe your difference in beard growth rates could be that you just need to wait a little bit longer and then cut the longer side to match the shorter side. Obviously, you can't necessarily add hair to the shorter side. Okay, another thing you should do is use products wisely. In my world, I like to use beard oil, I like to use beard wax, and I like to use beard balm. Now, it is so very easy to overuse these. And what happens is your hair kind of is clumped together. And so that can give the perception that one side is thinner than the other because you can kind of see the skin a little bit more and it doesn't feel as full. Now, when I put beard balm or beard wax in my palm, I try my best to kind of like spread it out evenly across my hands and then sort of pat it down, make sure it's all worked into the beard. But the problem is that sometimes I'm a little bit lazy and it isn't evenly distributed. And so that can give the perception that one side is fuller than the other, because remember, these products are to tame the kind of last little loose hairs and the flyaways. They're not about forming a huge shape change in your beard. And so what I can find is overuse actually makes it look less dense on one side because it just clumps the hair together. So just be careful. Don't overuse products because that can give you the perception that one side is growing longer than the other. But products used the right way can provide the perfect amount of hold as you're waiting for stuff to grow out. So yeah, it really is a balancing game, and toy around with different amounts until you find an amount that you're happy with. Okay, the last thing that I'd recommend is it's all around how do you encourage growth. Now, your hair can only grow as quickly as the nutrients it can get from your body. So make sure you're eating healthily, make sure you're exercising, make sure you're staying away from smoking, make sure you're drinking not too much alcohol. All of that stuff can really impact just your body in general. And because your body is growing a beard, you need to make sure your body is in the best form possible so that you can give your beard the best chance to grow. Now, there are supplements and beard growth things that are promoted online. As far as I can tell, there is no evidence to suggest that these supplements work. I've written an article on Beard Growing Pro. You can go check it out. I'll link it in the comments. But yeah, you really do have to take all the science and everything with a grain of salt. But one thing that is working well is a topical treatment. Now, I don't recommend this. I use this. I always say to people, like, use it as a last resort. But that's minoxidil. So Rogaine, that balding people like myself use on their head, can also be used as a topical treatment on your face. Now, as far as I can tell, this is not recommended. Please don't take this as medical or professional advice, but that's what some people are using online. You can go check out the subreddit. I think it's minoxidil beards or something like that. I'll link it in the comments below. But some people are seeing some great kind of effects from using topical treatments. And by topical, I mean like where you put it where you want the hair to grow. The issue is that as soon as you stop using these products, your hair stops growing. So that's why I don't recommend going down the supplement or the topical treatment route. A lot of the time it is about patience, and it is about pushing through any tough kind of things and things you don't like about your beard. Make sure you push through them. And yeah, on the other side of that, I think is where the perfect beard lies. Don't react too quickly. That's my main takeaway for this video. So please remember to subscribe to Beard Growing Pro, because I talk about beards, beard maintenance, beard trimming, beard stuff. And also go check out beardgrowingpro.com for more blogs, articles, and recommended tools and products. Okay, so let me know in the comments what you would add to this list, and I shall see you in the next video.